New on Curiosity Stream. She was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on The Spy Who Stole the Atom Bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
What's up? It's your boy, The Ted Smith. Thanks for listening to the Men's Room Daily Podcast. Want more? Check out the greatest podcast in all the land, The Podcast. Be sure to subscribe and listen to a brand new episode every Tuesday night.
Somebody out there deserves to be recognized. And the Men's Room knows just who it is. So to you, we say, bottoms up, sailor. You're the toast of our shot of the day.
Drink time it is, and as usual, we head to the drink desk and Stephen Throwhill to find out who we're toasting.
Yes, indeed. Today we toast Mr. Joshua Hawkins of Peoria, Illinois. Just so you know, he's a local artist, and he was recently contacted by a local business owner to paint a specific mural on the side of his building. Now, the mural itself, it's a giant-sized and kind of weird-looking cookie monster standing over the skyline of Peoria, holding a huge cookie that's shooting a rainbow. Now, as the entire image is in the visual style, as requested, of Russian propaganda, the mural also includes words written in Russian, land, peace, and cookies. And you go, all right. You know, you got peace with the rainbow. Obviously, it's Cookie Monster eating cookies. Mm-hmm. The land is, in fact, Peoria. Now, Joshua, he even stated, quote, "It was a little bit weird, but I thought to myself, well, that's cool. I like weird stuff." Well, it took Joshua and his team of 10 2 full days. They said sun up to sundown to complete the mural. They're on a tight time schedule to get this thing done. But completed they did, and they got paid again. He said it's one of his highest paying things. Well, it turns out that the guy that hired Joshua, yeah, he wasn't actually the owner of the building. And Joshua only found that out when the actual owner of the building called him angry, asking, "Why in the hell did you paint this?" And I quote, "crazy S on the side of my building." The real owner has since painted over the mural. Joshua got his money. He apologized, and it's all good now. But they don't know who it was that hired and paid him to do this big-ass mural. Damn. But whoever the real owner was, I guess he was like out of town or was over the weekend or whatever. This guy rolls up like, what the F is this on the side of my building?
It's like having a party at someone else's house. It's not yours when they're out of town.
Could you imagine doing that and inviting a band over? Yeah, man, oh man. So let's drink. We pour this booze and we drink this booze because we think it's yummy.
Yummy!
So over the tongue and down the throat to party in our tummies. Down the hola bichola!
The Men's Room presents Profile This.
Hey, Stephen Throwhill, can you please tell everyone how Profile This is played?
I sure can, Miles. It's a simple game where we share with you a real-life news story, something that happened right here on planet Earth. And as you listen to the story, based on the stereotypes you believe to be true of people and the decisions that people make, we'll ask you what it is you think makes the story a story. Hello, Drevik. Welcome to the Men's Room.
Hola, bitches.
Hola. All right, Drevik, you understand how this here game is played?
Do I what? Sorry.
Do you understand how this game is played?
It's a first-time player for me.
First-time player. All right. Well, you get to pick one story. And one of these stories will come with one of 3 categories. The categories are the wonderful world of drugs, where you will guess what drug this person is on or was trying to sell, etc. Bite me. In other words, what did someone find in their food that should not have been in their food? And finally, a little category we call interior decorating. That's where you guess the foreign object that ended up on the inside of someone. Would you like to go to the wonderful world of drugs, bite me, or interior decorating?
Let's do interior decorating.
Interior decorating.
All right.
All right, this is your story. I'm going to share this with you. You can listen for clues if you would like. And at the end of the story, it's a multiple choice. I'll ask you to guess which one of these objects they found inside of someone. But the story goes as follows. With sharp spikes in security and body checks at airports, you would assume that the days of trying to smuggle something will long be over, but it turns out that some still attempt to smuggle goods. Like a group of South Korean women, 7 South Korean women, they hid something in their rectums. The tourists, all of them in their 50s and 60s, they were caught at customs at an airport in Japan. Now, the incident occurred when x-rays revealed that each of them was carrying at least 5 of these objects in their rectum. Reportedly, all 7 women had flown from, an airport I can't possibly pronounce in South Korea. The objects revealed by the x-ray were found to be sealed inside of transparent bags. Each woman had hidden between 5 and 8 items, which were sadly confiscated by customs inspectors. Now, my question for you is, what were these old women smuggling in their ham flowers? Was it cash, opium, gold, or watches? So cash, opium, gold, or watches, one of these things was in the rectum of all 7 of these women.
Where were they coming from?
They were coming from South Korea, and they were landing in Japan.
And how many did you say on average they had?
They had, hold on, let me find that. It's on average they had 5, but it was anywhere from 5 to 8 items for each of these women.
And we don't have any weight on it?
No weight, sir, no.
No weight. Huh. Well, considering the demographic, I might think opium. If it were me, it would be gold, because that would be the easiest way to get the most amount of value in me, I would think.
See, I like where your head is at. You're noodling this through.
Drevick got items. If I had gold, I don't know if I would consider it an item. I mean, I might have a gold bar. Maybe I have a couple bracelets.
It just depends how they're carrying. You know, I don't know if it's...
Thinking more like nuggets.
Yeah.
Maybe popcorn.
Nuggets.
Nuggets, yes.
I think it's watches. For some reason, I'm going to go watches on this one. I have no idea why.
You said they were going from South Korea to Japan.
To Japan,
Correct.
yes.
And the choices were gold, watches, opium, or
cash.
I was thinking watches at first because that just seems like the most ridiculous one.
They all seem ridiculous, but I hear what you're saying.
Huh.
I like watches. I like the idea of 8 watches in your keister.
What do you think, Ted?
Well, I think my father kept that up there the whole time he was in Vietnam, and now it's mine.
That's why I'm going.
I really wanted you to have this.
I don't, just based on just size and comfortability, I think I'm going opium.
Opium.
Now here's an issue. I'm not positive how opium comes. Like powder?
Pretty excited.
Powder? Is it a liquid? Is it a
I don't know.
Is it like tar, like heroin?
I don't know.
I'm going opium.
Opium for Ted. Watches for me. Drevick, what are you thinking?
Let's see. I'm going to go with gold.
Gold. Okay.
There's gold in them there, but
final answer on that one, Drevick. You want to stick with gold, right?
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, we're going to find out what they had up there. Was it cash, opium, gold, or watches next?
That was a tease.
New on Curiosity Stream.
Just because it hasn't been done before doesn't mean you can't.
Watch Earth's greatest minds forge our path to a better tomorrow. It's engineering the future. And Jaws, Star Wars, The Godfather, E.T. The biggest movies have even bigger music. From King Kong to The Dark Knight. See how musicians scored Hollywood's greatest hits on great film composers' music of the movies. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hearforuswa.org.
Oh, drat. I was driving along minding my own business when that vulgar leech hit my Beamer with his pickup truck. I fear I've fractured my clavicle.
I say, old boy, don't simply put it in the hands of your insurance company to sort it out. Talk with a dedicated row of solicitors at the Advocates Law Firm.
Pipe down, you old sod. The Advocates will see your case through to the bitter end and won't sleep a fortnight until they have victory in their grasp.
Jolly good, old man. Jolly good indeed.
You get injured, the Advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Back to the conversation. This is the Men's Room with Miles and Thrill. 99.9 KISW.
All right, categories: interior decorating on profile. We've got 7 South Korean women. They're all smuggling something on a flight from South Korea into Japan. They have stuff in the rectum, each one. She had between 5 and 8 items. Question is, what did the lovely ladies here have hidden? Was it cash, opium, gold, or watches?
And Drevik, that is the very question that we posed to you. Let us begin with the Ted Smith, so you already know. Sadly, Ted, not opium. Not opium.
It's a shame, man.
Miles, you went watches, which is not a bad guess. There's been a lot of watch smuggling, but no.
Oh, no.
And Drevik, you went gold, and that was your first guess, and even said, look, man, just as far as shoving something in my rectum with the risk of getting caught, it has to be worth a lot of money to me, so I'm going to pick gold.
All right.
You are correct.
Nice job, Drevik. First-time player, first-time winner.
And here's the thing about it. The reason that they were hiding the gold is because they don't want to pay taxes on it, because it's considered income. So for as long as they're in Japan, they're not going to jail. For as long as they're in Japan, they can do whatever they want. They can get their gold back when they return to South Korea.
Okay.
So believe
that seems like a fair deal.
It is. So if you smuggle gold in your butt and you happen to land in Japan, you'll get your gold back just as soon as your vacation's done.
Now for all TV news all the time, it's time for TV Time with Ted.
And now, because your pathetic life is confined to countless hours in front of a talking box, Armageddon. The Men's Room presents TV Time with Ted.
All right. Your choices today. The Jimmies.
Jimmy Fallon, Jimmy Kimmel.
Seth Meyers.
Okay.
Conan
O'Brien.
Or Ted Smith.
Is it Ted or is it late night?
That's right. These guys all have teams of professional writers that help them come up with their monologues each and every night. It is up to you to determine, is this an actual late night joke, and from whom, or could it be a The Ted Smith original?
People are complaining that TBS cut off the end of Jingle All the Way before the movie was completely over. People complain because they wanted TBS to cut off the whole movie way earlier.
Conan O'Brien.
Yeah, based on the network, I'm going to go Conan busted in his own network.
That's Conan.
People are complaining that TBS cut off the ending of Jingle All the Way before the movie was completely over? Yeah. People complain because they wanted TBS to cut off the movie way earlier.
Yeah, Twitter was going crazy about that.
Really?
Yeah.
It's Jingle All the Way.
Hey, look, I mean, I would say it's Sinbad's second greatest movie.
His first being
House Guest.
Oh, yes, of course.
He's having some serious medical problems.
Yeah, that's a shame.
It is.
Yeah.
He was always one of my favorite stand-up guys. I like the fact that he wore it clean.
Stand-up guy,
funny.
and remember, he was on a different world. Like, Sinbad was a little more prolific than I think we give him credit for.
Yep.
Apple unveiled a pair of noise-canceling headphones called AirPod Max. And get this, they cost $549.
Jesus.
Noise-canceling headphones for $549. When they heard this, people quarantining with kids were like, they'll give you $800.
Fallon.
That's Fallon.
Apple unveiled a pair of noise-canceling headphones called the AirPods Max. And get this, they cost $549. Noise-canceling headphones for $549. When they heard people quarantining with kids were like, I'll give you $800.
Also, Phil Knight, man, you better call up Apple. Everybody knows Air Maxes are dope shoes. Feels like the AirPod Max. Like, you trying to get in on the Nike stuff?
I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
You know, a name that just...
Yeah. I don't know if you guys saw this story. A 9-pound goldfish was found in a lake in South Carolina. And people were shocked, except the residents of Colorado, who just wanted to know if it was cheddar flavor.
Seth Meyers.
I'm going to go Conan.
Ted Smith! Yes! It's a goldfish joke!
I got him.
Yeah, man. You like crackers? You ever get the blasted, like extra blast cheddar?
I have not yet.
Get him, Miles.
I haven't seen him yet. I look every time.
You gotta go to a different store.
I know.
In that hippy dippy expensive place.
No, I'm going to Walgreens for crying out loud. They're sold out.
Go to a grocery store, my man.
Okay.
A new study found that taking a walk when it's dark out is good for you. The study was sponsored by murderers.
Seth Meyers.
Conan!
A new study found that taking a walk when it's dark out is good for you. Yeah. The study was sponsored by murderers.
Now I'm thinking about those delicious extra cheddar blasted goldfish.
You know what, man? I'm looking for the Cheez-Its. That's the thing I was looking for.
The snaps.
Yeah, the snaps. I haven't been able to find those.
I got you.
Okay, cool.
So your kids are out of Cheez-It or goldfish phase, right?
They don't need them, but if you've got them, they'll eventually get eaten.
Nice.
But it's not like it was 2 years ago where it's like they were their Scooby snacks.
Yeah. So during Profile This, we were talking about people shoving gold up the old keister.
Yes, we were.
And then yesterday, I had some random fact, and off the air, I said, I thought on the air, I said, I think I learned that on a show about with the foods that made America.
Yeah.
Which, if you watch that show on History Channel, is amazing. Shout out to the Post family. But it also might have been on Drunk History. So I got home last night. Obviously, taped a brand new episode of the podcast out now.
Nice.
And a new Megcast. But then I started watching Drunk History. And one of the main stories on this one was Mansa Musa. You guys know this name?
I don't think so.
Which is ridiculous. He's arguably the richest person to ever live on the earth.
Mansa Musa.
Mansa Musa. He lives in Africa, right? So he's got they've got more gold than anybody can do.
Sure.
I don't know. The Bezos might have beaten him now, but apparently at the time,
the percentage of what he had, it was.
But even at the time, it would have been worth it would have been worth 30-40 billion or something crazy.
Oh, damn, okay.
So he gets 60,000 people together, and he's going to make a trek to Mecca, right?
Okay.
Because that's what people do. So they stop in Cairo in Egypt, right? And when they get there, the guy that's running Egypt is like, hey, thanks for showing up. Here's some extra gold. Blah, 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 like we want to be friendly. So this dude just splashes around money. They're buying everything they can in the town, and then they head on to Cairo, right? Or head on to Mecca. But it kills the economy in Cairo because their money's basically worthless. Because you know what I mean? Like he spent so much that it crushed their economy.
Okay, all right.
So then they go to Mecca, and then when they're coming back, the guys that run Cairo are like, oh, we're going to have to kill this dude. He basically destroyed our money and everything.
Sure.
We're gonna have to get him. But this Mansa Musa guy has so much gold that he just builds it back up and then rolls back home. And it's just a crazy story. And it's like he was the richest man ever, and nobody knows his name. Mike, do you have an update?
I have a little bit here for you. So you're not wrong, Ted. Honestly, everything that I'm finding here says that his wealth is pretty much indescribable. They cannot actually pinpoint just how much there is. But in 2012, the U.S. website Celebrity Net Worth estimated his wealth at $400 billion. But then it says economic historians agree that his wealth is impossible to pin down to a single number.
So he's still around.
No.
This
is I want to say this is 1400 or something.
Right, I was going to say.
But along the way back, they're building mosques, they're building, schools, libraries, all this stuff. It's just, look, Drunk History is a funny show in the way they deliver it. But I'll tell you, you learn some interesting stuff. And it's good to learn about other stuff. Frankly, a lot of good stuff about Africa that's not just kind of bad stuff.
The non-European centric stuff.
Yeah.
There are other continents.
Right. I mean,
that's why you haven't heard of him.
I consider myself a history buff, and I'm like, I never even heard of this guy.
Me neither.
And I knew back in the day in North Africa there was a ton of gold.
Yes.
What's it? I want to say Mayans. It's not Mayans. Wasn't there a country started with an M or something that was huge? I don't know. It was very interesting. My 5th grade teacher, her and her husband had spent years in Africa, studying and working on stuff.
Okay.
So I remember in 5th grade, that was a very specific year where we actually learned a bunch about that continent.
Sure. Okay.
That's why I had to name all the countries. That's a hard test, dude.
You had to name all the countries in Africa?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't think I did too hot on it, but I remember I studied hard for that one.
Well, depending on the test, by the time you're done with the test, there might be 2 more or 1 less.
Good news is you can always nail South Africa.
Yeah.
If you can't figure out what continent that one's on, like, wow.
Yeah, like South Africa, Egypt, like there's certain areas you can kind of
Chad,
tell.
Somalia,
that are a little easier, right? But in the middle there, and you're right, and oftentimes they change names and stuff like that. It gets tough. So, well, also, I'll be dead honest with you, start watching a lot of European soccer. You're going to learn a lot more countries.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I always recommend people watch Drunk History. Then, the other show I watched is a new show I found on National Geographic called Trafficked with Morena Van Zeller. So basically, she goes around and is like, she's not undercover, she's a reporter, but she has to get people to let her in.
I've seen commercials for it, but I've not actually seen the show. Okay.
All right, so the first one was about fentanyl, right?
Oh, so it's drug related.
Not
Sometimes.
Well, sometimes. Because then the episode I watched,
people, it can be drugs, it can be exotic animals. That's why she's trafficked. And she, as I understand from the 30 seconds of commercial I've seen, she's serious about it. But like she's, like I said, not quite undercover, but you need to build the trust of the people you're talking to, that you're not going to get arrested just because you talk to me, kind of thing.
right? So last night she was working on phone scams and stuff, and it is wild. And like it starts in Jamaica. I didn't realize a lot of them come out of there and stuff. And it's kind of funny. Because the way that these scammers are getting these lists is that, frankly, our companies started opening up these giant phone call centers or the telemarketing centers in Jamaica because they speak English, and it was much, much cheaper than hiring people that live in the States, right? So it's kind of like, it's another one of those, like we kind of created our own problem. So then people that work in these telecommunication places, like, they're not getting paid a ton.
Right. They're going to make more money.
Selling those lists.
They're selling the list, right? And you're exactly right. And it's sad.
Is that illegal? Because
no, companies do it.
I was going to say, companies do it all the time. Now,
it's illegal. It's black marketed down there.
Okay, all right.
But then, these people, these scammers, they call and sadly, like, look, it's happening. I mean, it happened to my dad, but generally it's older people who are lonely.
Sure.
And they just keep talking to it, and they're like, yeah, you just tell them whatever they want to hear. And it's like, it's the same thing. Like, look, normal people like us, almost anybody probably listening going, that doesn't make sense. I send you 100 G's and you're going to give me 17 million. Like, that just doesn't add up.
Right, nothing about it does.
But older people get confused and stuff, and they're lonely. Then you got some person, like, scam on and everything. It was also kind of funny. So as she works her way up, right, it starts with, like, a rapper who's rapping about it. He might be involved. He doesn't want to talk too much.
Of course.
But then she kind of meets, like, some higher-up people. And the one dude, she's talking to him. It's kind of funny. She's like, well, is it just scams? And they're like, yeah, we don't really mess with drugs anymore. But they're like, but we don't care. We'll rob anybody. And she kind of looks at him, and he goes, we'd rob you right now, but you seem nice. And it's an awkward couple seconds of silence. And he's like, no, like, we like you. You seem nice. And she kind of cracks a smile. And I was like, but he was not joking.
No.
Yeah.
Like, he didn't start laughing and be like, oh, don't worry. He was just like, no, we like you. We're not going to rob you. But you got awesome cameras and jewelry.
Yeah, and you're filming us.
Yeah, but it was wild. Then they went over to Israel. It's massive over there, too. There, it's almost basically legal. They have, like, these buildings. And then over in Israel, a lot of it's run off, like, the same thing. Like, I mean, I hate to say this, but it's just, like, investment stuff.
Oh,
so
sure.
people already kind of are used to being like, oh, I got to give them money to make money.
To make money, right.
And then some of it is just, like, blatantly lying and stealing. So, yeah.
Interesting.
It was super interesting. I won't lie. Like, I was like, I got to call my mom in the morning and tell her to not fall for any nice person promise you new money.
Yeah, I've never had anyone promise me money.
Yeah, if you promise me money, I don't believe you.
Yeah, I just assume you hate me.
Well, sometimes, too, things are too good to be true, right? I mean, even just think about food. Like, yeah, I don't know, like, sometimes you see, like a crazy deal on food or something, and you're just like, yeah, their burgers can't be that good. It seems like they're just giving them away. You know what I mean? Or have you ever had somebody kind of give you, like, a gift that seemed like a little bit like overkill? Maybe you'd just been dating for only like a couple weeks or whatever, and you're just like, oh, this person's psycho. Like, they went in on my actual life. But now if I accept this gift, like, I got to invite them over.
Yeah, right.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Or people are like, here, just get, like, I don't know. Even with, like, booze sometimes. Like, you know what? Like, there's certain times where I just go, I'll buy my own booze.
Right.
Like, I don't need you to buy me a shot.
Because you're buying a conversation. that I don't want to have with you.
Right, you're buying a conversation, or it's almost like, I don't know, it's almost like insulting.
Come on, guy. Come on in. We have turkey and mashed potatoes.
Yeah, exactly. Or like in Vegas, I remember, because we were staying in the place, we got to go to this famous place called Tao. And we're up there, it's like 1:30 in the morning. And we were in town for a fight. And there's all these Brazilian dudes, right? And you know me, I don't know if I was dancing, how we got into it, but these guys are like, we like you, let's buy you drinks. And me and my buddy are like, no, man, we can buy our own drinks. And those dudes were pissed.
Really?
Oh my God. You would have thought like we touched one of their women, or like we had like pissed them. I mean, to the point of like, we had our drinks and left because those dudes were just shooting daggers at us.
Damn, man.
Thank you, Ted. We appreciate it. You are listening to The Men's Room.
New on Curiosity Stream, she was a loving wife, a devoted mother. She also stole atomic secrets and gave them to the Soviets. Meet the woman whose deception kick-started the Cold War on the spy who stole the atom bomb. And
what if they catch you?
Then I shall be shot.
They're coming! Come back!
relive history's most death-defying escapes. It's Impossible Escapes, Civil War. Watch now on Curiosity Stream. Annual plans are $20, just $1.67 a month. Visit curiositystream.com.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
Well, great balls of fire, Bubba. What happened, Bilford? That crazy son of a Sal blew right through that four-way stop on Main Street and plowed into my cowboy Cadillac.
Your what?
My pickup truck. And I'm pretty sure my leg is broken, Ted.
Oh, quit your bitching, Buford, and talk with those side busters at the Advocates Law Firm. When I got busted up last month, well, shoot, they made sure those snakes at the insurance company played fair.
Boy, howdy. Even that creepy so-and-so Kyle earned his keep.
So if you get injured, the advocates get results. AdvocatesLaw.com.
Men's Room returns with Miles and Thrill. Now, let's see what's happening in the real world.
All right, here we go. America's highest earning prostitute sues the state of Nevada because COVID shut her business down. In Brussels, second sex party shut down due to COVID, as partygoers are sent home to punch the clown. Emu on the loose in Pennsylvania avoids capture as it can run 30 miles an hour. One thing COVID sure shows, Americans binge drinking power. And Cleveland online class is canceled as a teacher is robbed during a Zoom session. It's time for your headlines.
Now, it's time to hit the headlines. Here's my cock.
Our top story, 2020 has been a year of firsts for sure, but we take a moment to recognize this bit of excellence that was literally record-breaking. In a video shared online, we see the broken record of most animated faces in a Christmas light display, and they were all on porta potties.
Why?
I don't know. The video shows the portable toilets grouped together in a choir-like arrangement, and all bursts into a belted-out rendition of the classic Hallelujah.
Just what you want to hear, a porta potty singing Hallelujah.
I think it's just because they could set it up as a choir. It was big enough to where they could have the display that actually is visible.
You know, but I will say this much. Singing porta potties at least makes me chuckle.
Oh, absolutely.
The monolith thing that's taking off now, as predicted. Like, come on.
And depending on the day, singing Hallelujah in the toilet is not exactly far-fetched.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's more likely that I'm singing it than the porta potty.
Hallelujah.
I think after I'm done the porta potty, you'd be singing, "What have I done to deserve this?"
I should have chosen a better profession. In other news, there's a story circling Pennsylvania about what they call a celebrity running amok in a small town. The celebrity in question, a runaway emu. The animal has been running around the town evading capture for some time now, but has gained the attention of residents who attempt to get a photo of the animal or try to capture it all together and to send it home.
All right, so say you're the average person. There's an emu. It's running through your yard. You know people are looking for it. You're going to try to capture it. What is your game plan?
Right?
I don't know how I would approach trying to capture an emu. It's not a squirrel. You know, most animals, well, depending on their size, you could say, all right, get a laundry basket and a broom, right? It's an emu.
Right. Approach it slowly, gain its trust, grab it by the neck, bring it home.
Where is this at?
This is over in Pennsylvania.
Yeah. Well, the thing runs 30 miles an hour. They can't even if they see it, it's gone.
Right. Grab some corn. Here you go.
Is it somebody's pet? Or is it just loose?
To be honest with you, I don't know. Honestly, the news story that I read was so poorly written that it was hard to kind of get all the information that I need to.
I mean, it's got to be somebody's pet, right? There's not like that.
Or a farm. It is not.
Right.
It is not out of the question to have emu farms, but
it's not native to PA, is all I'm saying.
Right.
It's not, but there's I know a lot of people in PA, as you do, Thrill, like, bet somebody could take care of this if we really were tired of this.
No, they're not trying to kill it, Ted.
Right. But I'm like, somebody's got. So there's a hunter somewhere in that town.
Yeah, left to Central PA, that thing's getting shot in a heartbeat.
I got it. Headline of the day, quote unquote, alarming new study reveals that binge drinkers are taking down 4 to 7 drinks in a single sitting.
Is that binge drinking?
That is binge drinking.
If it is, I have a problem.
I mean, I caught probably 7 beers last night when I got home.
Right.
And not because football was on, but because I'm done with work and I'm home.
Exactly.
That's any given night, man.
I had 4 beers last night.
Yeah,
right.
There was
like,
no
look at
question
me,
about it.
taking it easy. This brain doesn't stop. It doesn't slow down, man. I got crap on my mind. I need to inoculate it.
Yeah, I mean,
sedate it. Sorry.
Either way,
do what you gotta do.
Ferment it.
There you go. Pickle the doggone thing. This comes after a study that looked to find just how harmful the COVID lockdowns have been on drinkers. Newsflash, it's had a big effect. They conducted the study on 2,000 Americans and found that abusive drinkers saw a 19% increase in consumption per week of lockdowns, saying that they found it had even more of an effect on drinkers who experience depression or have a history of binge drinking. What do you know? People are sitting at home bored. If they're sad, they drink.
I mean, it's what I do, man. And look, we've been going to work 5 days a week, so it's not like we have the extra time, but if we had the extra time, yeah, I'd be drinking.
I will say, as all the lockdowns
on the weekend, you get one maybe before noon.
Right. As all the lockdowns were starting, what did you have a massive surplus of in your basement, Mr. Hell?
A beer.
Absolutely.
It was ridiculous
It was.
amount of beer. I mean, but like I like to play my bass. Guess what else I do when I go home? Play my bass. You know what I do more of on the weekend? Play more bass.
Exactly. We're getting locked out. I need provisions.
Yeah.
I need beer. Oh, boy.
I didn't realize I was binge drinking. I was like, come on, man.
A Colorado man known as the dispensary robber has just been arrested once again, and you'll never guess why.
Because they knew him.
He robbed the dispensary.
As a regular customer.
And that's the problem. The young man was given the name after he attempted an armed robbery of a dispensary in the Aspen area a while back, one that he frequented, so much so that he was actually called out by the employee that he was robbing despite wearing a mask.
Like, Hayden, is that you?
Right. Not long after, he went to yet another dispensary with which he was a regular and again was recognized by the staff and authorities were called.
You see the guy that tried to rob a bank?
Right.
He took his mask down
to tell the teller to give him money.
That is it for your headlines with that, Mike. Hawk is out.
Thank you, sir. We appreciate it. We'll see you tomorrow. Big Dummy, Head Chef, Intense Meat and Potatoes. It is Codes for Kids Day starting bright and early with BJ and Megs, and we're going to help to try to raise some money as well.
Goddamn right we
Yeah.
are. But in the meantime, we be all about this bitch. So until next time, please do what you do best, and for Aletha's sake, stay beautiful.
The Men's Room has been taped before a live studio audience. Wardrobe and makeup provided by Mantastic Limited. This has been a presentation of the Men's Room Radio Network. Oh, man! A Double Flush production.
This podcast is brought to you by the Washington State Department of Health. When we think about the COVID-19 vaccine hesitancy in the Black community, let's remember, it didn't happen by chance. It's justified in history. But the will to change the narrative is strong today, and our people are lending their voices to the conversation. We're sharing our stories and the reasons that made us choose the vaccine so we can lead the way for others to make a well-informed choice too. To hear our stories, visit hereforuswa.org.
5X480. Dayton B100 V-Belt, one of the many parts Grainger carries. It's also the item that helped Rob carry the day. The job was on hold, deadline fast approaching, but a quick search on Grainger.com and Rob found his part. And with same-day pickup at his local branch, he and his crew got the job done, safely and on time. Get supplies and solutions for every industry with real-time product availability. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.